Party people! Welcome once again to the Party of One podcast, the actual play RPG podcast where the gaming table is always set for two. I'm your host as always, and this week on the show, I am joined by my good friend Chris Bissette for a game of Excommunicado by World Champ Game Company. Chris is the owner of Loot the Room, which is an Emmy-nominated tabletop RPG design studio. Chris designed The Wretched, which is a seminal work in the one-player role-playing game space. A role-playing game about being lost and trapped in space that involves drawing cards and pulling bricks from a Jenga tower. I've got a lot of strong feelings about how fucking good The Wretched is, but I'm not going to talk about them here because we've got other stuff to talk about. Chris is also an incredibly talented musician, host of a nominal game design podcast, where Chris talks about game design theory while playing synth music in the background. And most timely and relevant, Chris is currently kickstarting D36 as part of Zine Quest on Kickstarter. D36 is a strange role-playing game zine. It is a quarterly publication designed to collect weird, visceral role-playing games from a wide variety of interesting and exciting designers. It is a really cool Kickstarter. It is a really great sounding like zine project and quarterly publication. You'll hear Chris talk a little more about it on the episode, but this is a project that I'm really, really excited about. I've already backed it on Kickstarter, and so you should go back it and make it a reality. You can find links to the D36 Kickstarter as well as all of the projects that Chris has going on in the show notes. Now let's talk about Excommunicado, because this game shreds. Excommunicado is a two-player role-playing game inspired by John Wick. It is very specifically of that legendary epic assassin on the run style story. It is lightweight, it is easy to play, it is high-octane action on the purest scale. The player plays the role of a repentant assassin on the run from the all-powerful and mighty forces that are trying to kill them, and the incompetent bastard police that are trying to apprehend them and bring them in. It is, no exaggeration, one of my favorite, pure action role-playing games that I've ever played. I was on the edge of my seat playing it, and that often doesn't happen. But, so I adored this game. I had such a fun time playing with Chris. I think you're absolutely gonna love it. You can find more information about Excommunicado in the show notes. Now, one quick thing before we dive in, because frankly, I don't remember if I've done this yet, and candidly, I don't feel like going back to find out if I did or not. A special thank you to our good friend, past Party of One guest, Blaine Martin, host of You Are Not Alone, a two-player horror actual play podcast. Thank you for backing Party of One on Patreon, Blaine. I really appreciate it. If you'd like to learn more about the Party of One Patreon to get early access to episodes, raw, unedited audio, early drafts and brainstorm documents of games that I'm working on, you can find links to all of that and more in the show notes. And now, with all that said, let's go ahead and throw it over to me in the past so that he can get started with the show. Take it past me. Thanks, future me. This week, I am just beyond excited, as evidenced by the fact that we're starting this recording 20 minutes after we hopped on the call just to, hang out and friend chat. I'm sitting down with my good friend, Chris Bissette. Chris, thank you so much for coming on Party of One.
Thank you so much for having me. I've been looking forward to this for ages and ages.
This recording has already been a delight, and we've been on mic for about a minute, so I'm feeling pretty great. So real quick, before we dive in, before we introduce the game we're playing this week, why don't you take a moment and let the lovely listeners at home know about anything you've got going on that you might want the audience at home to know about?
Yeah, hello, I'm Chris Bissette, I run The Room, and what have I got going on at the minute? Christ, so much stuff. D36 is either launching on Kickstarter today, or launched on Kickstarter last week as part of Zine Quest. Who knows? Time is a flat circle, and it could have been either of those options. D36 is a zine of strange RPG stuff filled with wonderful people, and I'm hoping to fund 4 issues of the thing, and by the time this goes live, I might know whether it's funded or not, and I might not.
Yeah, we'll find out. I mean, I'm confident that it's going to fund because it sounds utterly incredible, and you are a talented designer, and I think people recognize that, so I have the utmost confidence. But for anybody listening to this, go back the game, help make it a reality, because it is an extremely cool-sounding project.
Thank you. Do I have anything else going on? I've probably released Dice Souls at this point as well, which is my 2-player Souls-like dungeon crawler game, but that'll get completely overshadowed by Kickstarter, so go buy that as well.
Hell yeah. I've been hearing about Dice Souls for a while, and I'm like beyond excited about it. Like,
I'm so happy.
just such a cool sounding game. Tell us a little bit about Dice Souls as a concept, because it sounds incredible.
So Dice Souls is a 2-player, 1 GM, 1 player dungeon Souls-like exploration game where you make a character and you and your GM explore a dead world where you kill big monsters and harvest souls, and you die and retry over and over again until you break free. And I've started writing this because I finally, years and years and years after the fact, started playing Dark Souls a month ago and thought, oh fuck, why haven't I played Dark Souls before now? This is amazing. And I immediately wrote a game based on it.
That's a good like, that is one of my favorite feelings, is the oh my god, why have I not indulged in this year? Like, why did I wait on this?
Yeah. And I've been really lucky that I've been tweeting about it a lot and nobody has spoiled the game for me.
a good feeling.
Yeah, I've done the impossible.
I recently had that exact feeling of like, why did I wait years on this? And I'm going to say this out loud, and it's going to be the most Jeff Stormer. You, Chris, are probably going to hear this and go, Jeff Stormer, why did you wait years on this? This past December, this past Christmas, I read all of Grant Morrison wrote Claus, which is their young Santa Claus as a Superman analog superhero story.
Yes.
And it came out like 5 years ago, and I just read it last year, and like, why did I feel I had to wait on this?
That's extremely Jeff Stormer as well.
It's the most Jeff Stormer pitch that I've ever been presented with, and I waited 5 years.
Well, the best thing about waiting so long is that you get to experience it for the first time when everybody else is already done with it.
It's true. I'm so happy, but like, it is a wonderful feeling. It is one of my favorite feelings. Do you know what else is one of my favorite feelings?
Go on.
Playing a sick game with my good friends.
Heck yeah.
So this week we are playing Excommunicado by Adam Vast, World Champ Game Co. It is a game inspired very directly by John Wick and sort of other like big legendary epic assassin stories. It is... I'm just going to read the opening crawl of the game because it's very, very cool. Once, a soul in pain faced with impossible problems and deficient solutions. Then, a merciless creature, a human weapon carrying out missions for the privileged until you remembered who you truly were. Once again, a soul in pain, yet made whole once more in love, hate, and power. Now, a criminal on the run, a defector, escaping your former handlers who aspire to punish your transgressions, and the foolish police who aspire to apprehend you. You are an agent on the run from your former employers after allegedly committing an unforgivable crime in their eyes. The police who have kept an eye on your organization also see an opportunity to capture you as you continue to run. You must rely on clever tactics, intelligent investigation, and extreme violence to survive and avoid the varied punishments coming your way. What a fucking pitch.
It just does it for me. It's just so fucking
just
good.
foot to the pedal to the floor.
Yeah.
0 to 60. Yeah, so that's the game. You are going to be our agent. I am going to be our game master. And we are going to create a badass agent, create a sinister organization, and play through some exciting chase scenes as we create a chapter in the life of this hero on the run.
I cannot wait.
So, to begin, we need to create a scenario. So there are four 4d6 tables for us to roll on. If we feel really strongly about given options, we can pick one, or we can roll on the dice. We'll go through them one by one. We'll start with, before we meet our agent, we'll start with whom did you work for? Our results are organized crime family, independent detective agency, shadow government, the mega corporation, pseudo-religious zealots, and mercenary assassin squadron. Chris, do you have a strong preference, or do you want to roll a d6?
Do you know what? I'm drawn to Megacorp, but I'm going to roll because I like rolling on tables. And I rolled Shadow Government.
I would love to go full Jeff Stormer and pick two options.
Let's do that.
We can make our own game.
Yeah.
What if this is a mega corporation that acts as a shadow government?
I'm into that.
Like,
yes.
You know, this is the corporation that transcends government lines, and is the ultimate beast of capitalism.
Yeah, so a mega corporation that acts like a real mega corporation. That sounds good to me. Yeah.
Turns out the villain is capitalism. I can't see how we got to this point.
Turns out the calls were coming from inside the house.
Our next question, whom can you still trust? A retired assassin living in relative peace, a current agent disobeying their orders, a trusty animal who aids your endeavors, a shopkeep who expects favors in return, a child who mistakes you for a character they love, and an old flame who has a soft spot for you.
Ooh.
So here there are 4 of these options I'm all about. 2 of them I'm a little less interested in because I don't love the idea of putting a trusty animal or a child in mortal danger.
I had the same reaction. Yeah.
So other than that, if you're cool, I'd love to roll this. I'd love to roll a d6 and see what we get here. All right. And then we'll re-roll the 3 or 5. They're very good evocative options. I just don't know if I want them to come up in this particular game.
Yeah, totally into that.
That's a 6. An old flame who still has a soft spot for you. That's a good... I always love that dynamic. I do love I love an old flame dynamic. It's something that I deeply, deeply treasure.
I'm writing this down so I don't forget it.
Next question. What unforgivable crime did you allegedly commit? Was it the resurrection of a dead lover? The killing of protected persons? Denying orders from higher-ups? Falling in love with your target? Relaying information to an outside source, or excusing a target you deemed innocent? Do you want to pick one, or do you want to roll one?
I'm immediately drawn to resurrection of a dead lover because I like anything that says, do you know what? This world has got fucking necromancy in it.
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, all these options are good, but this one just drops in that there's magic.
Whoa, what if... Right, hang on. We've got an old flame who still has a soft spot for me, right?
Yep.
What if they're the dead lover I resurrected?
That's real good. I love that. I love that deeply. Now, here's what I also want to throw out.
Mm-hmm.
We're pulling together some ideas here because some stuff is cooking in the back of my mind.
Okay.
What if our mega corporation owns magic? And they are the monopoly on real honest to goodness magic.
I love that.
And your lover wasn't even necessarily, because there's something about the phrasing of the prompt and the question all kind of feeling like your lover was dead as a result of something in your sort of purview and they in the line of duty, so to speak. What if it's not that, and it literally just people die and you happen to work for an organization that had the power to bring them back?
Ooh.
And your corporation's no, we don't, we get to decide who uses magic. We decide these things.
I love that. Are we saying I stole the magic tech that brought them back?
I love that. Yeah, I think that's fantastic.
I'm into that. I like that a lot.
That's very good. And so, last is, what is your preferred method of delivering pain? Is it grappling arts? Is it uncanny aim? Blades? Improvised weaponry? Lots of bullets? Or a cybernetic limb?
I'm going to let you pick, because I picked the dead lover.
All right, I'm going to roll a d6 here, because these are all extremely solid. I picked 4 I rolled 4 improvised weaponry.
That works for me.
That's going to be fun. That's going to be a fun one to describe, and so I'm glad that that's the result.
Yes, I'm into that. That's some, early Jackie Chan shit meets John
Yeah, exactly.
Wick. Yes.
Oh, there's nothing quite like breaking off table legs.
Yeah.
That kind of slapstick is...
that scene with the board duster in Rush Hour. Is it Rush Hour? I don't remember.
I think it is. It's every single Jackie Chan. Yeah, there was literally just a tweet I saw today that killed me, and I'm gonna find it because if I'm gonna quote this tweet directly, I want to at least cite the person that tweeted it. But it was, haha, I've got Jackie Chan cornered on a rooftop. King's gonna go great, hell yeah! And I'm like, that's just that That dynamic is just the absolute best.
That's an energy that I want all games to have.
Yes.
I play a lot of games, and one of my big tests for whether I like a game or not is how easy does this game make it for me to make improvised weapons out of scenery?
I feel like that. And my most cynical take is I feel like a lot of games struggle with that.
A lot of games struggle with that, but when you find one that does it well,
it works. It just sings. All right, so Excommunicado is a game that runs on a series of clocks. What that means is you as our agent have 3 clocks in front of you. Clocks are just ways that we're going to track progress. You have one that is marked as hurt, which is has 4 segments on it. One with intel with 6 segments, and one with escape that has 8 segments. What's going to happen is over the course of play, you're going to crack some intel, you're going to get hurt, and you're going to escape. Basically what is going, and I have 2 clocks in front of me, which are execution and apprehension. Execution is our megacorp has tracked you down and ended you. Apprehension is our bumbling bastard police are going to find you and take you in. Over the course of play, you're going to be doing some cool, dangerous stunts, and every time that happens, you're going to roll some dice. And based on those results, we're going to fill in some of those clocks. And that's going to tell us what happened. Like, that's going to help us push towards our big dramatic climax. Do you have any questions about the game before we get going?
None whatsoever.
All right. Well, then with that, we have to decide where this chapter of our story is set, because you are on the run. You are the greatest assassin that this corporation has ever. Do we want to name this corporation first and foremost?
No, I think they're just.
I think there's the corp.
They're just the corp. Yeah, the company.
Corp, yep. The company has been tracking you for some time, and you have gotten word that they know where you are and that people are on their way. So where are we in this particular chapter of the story? This can be like a literal actual location. This can just be more of a like an aesthetic note of, big city, small town, out in the woods. Like let's collaboratively set the scene of where this showdown is going to happen.
Cool. Is there anything that grabs you immediately that you think this is where we want to set this?
The game recommends a big city, and I like that. I think the 2 kind of options, and maybe there's a both that we can enjoy here. I said the woods, and the aesthetic of like a fight in the woods feels very all cool as well.
Yeah, I do like that. It's just some weird like Rambo shit.
So maybe it is a town like on the edge of a wood, or like a city with a large like park area with like a dense wood in it.
Oh, like a Central Park kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Like it's like an oasis of solitude inside the city.
I love that. And then the other detail I think I might want to propose to you is, and then I'm going to see if you have any details you want to add in for our cityscape. I think like if we're putting a city park in, if we're putting like a central park in, I think it just gives some very cool aesthetics if around it is like the city art district. So you have like museums and theaters and stuff like that.
Oh yeah. So there's like a weird sculpture garden.
Oh, there's such a
park.
weird sculpture garden.
Like the art district of the city like bleeds into the park, so there's this like liminal space where you're in wilderness, but also like weird shit.
Yeah,
that might be art, that might be twisted magic gone wrong and pushed out of the city.
I love it. I'm here for it.
Yeah, I like that.
The one detail to elaborate on that because it's a thing that I deeply love, and I'm saying it on mic, and people can feel free to at me on it. I want some Batman and Robin-esque, like, statues of somebody stretching that you can run along, like...
Yes!
Those big-ass giant statues, like, just create a cool aesthetic.
Yep, I'm into that. Just, like, improbably large statues of people with, like, hands and limbs held out that are very convenient ledges for stunts to happen on.
Very good. Cool. I feel like we've got a good... So I'm going to ask you... so with that, I think we can actually, like, get started.
Awesome.
I'm going to ask you... What are you doing here? Is this your home? Have you just found out that people are on their way? Are you here for a job, or are you here as a stop on the run?
I think it's a combination of things. I think
Mhm.
I think we find me just after pulling off some kind of mission that's given me some information, but I've been chased here, and there's an old bolt hole here that I'm headed towards, but it's been a while and I cannot remember exactly where it is.
I love that. There's like a river that cuts through the park, right? Like,
Yeah.
especially because that's going to give us an excuse to go from the city to the park.
Yes.
Into a boat chase. Like, there's a river that runs through
Yeah.
a park with a boat hold, like, somewhere in this park. And, like, this is going to give us an excuse to go through all of these things. So the thing that you are gathering intel on is, we'll say, where the boat hold is, how to get a hold of a boat, and where is, like, a safe place that you can stop on the water that they won't be able to find you immediately.
That sounds good.
And then if there's corporate mysteries that unfold to that, we'll add those to the intel clock. But that's kind of the immediate thing that you're looking for.
Cool.
The game's rules is you must figure out what's really going on before you can successfully escape. So why don't we actually say, like, where the boat is the escape clock, and then, like, there is something unfolding in the city that you need to figure out and stop before you can get to that boat hold and have you escape on the water.
I'm into it.
Okay, yep, I know exactly what is really going on. Yep, I've sometimes, and I'm going to say this, I'm going to foreshadow all of this. Sometimes, Chris, you've got to just be on your bullshit. Sometimes it's important that we be on our bullshit.
That's the Jeff Stormer way.
It absolutely is. It absolutely is. So yeah, we start out. I think we start out, your old flame, what are their name and pronouns? Do we want to roll for pronouns? You just want to pick some pronouns?
We'll go with they, them.
They, them.
And their name, God, I'm going to call them Gem, Jem.
I love it. Gem is in this city. Gem has lived in this city for some time. Like, when you brought Gem back, Gem moved here, right? They love the arts. I want to throw out the detail, if you're cool with it, that they're kind of a pretentious artist type.
Yeah, absolutely.
So they kind of moved to the museum district, to the art district, to be among the art and the music. So, like, I think we start with the two of you together. You know, they've offered you a safe house. We open with the two of you kind of sitting on their balcony. They've made you mimosas, and I think the first report, or like the first text, has come in that someone is on their way.
Nice. And like, Gem has been dead.
Mm-hmm.
And like, it's obvious that Gem has been dead. Like, whatever magic has brought them back, like, it's slow. Like, they're still kind of stiff and cold, and they're just slowly starting to like warm up a bit, but like, they're very obviously like a former corpse.
Yeah, I think that's. I love that. There's something about them that just like feel. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, like they're drained in a really weird way.
It's the thing that How are you on? Let me ask you this, and I'm going to leave this on Mike as a safety question. How are you on bugs?
I am fine on bugs.
I think there's a fly that like crawls on them, and they don't mind it.
Yeah,
like,
they maybe don't even notice.
Yeah,
like
they're just and like they see it kind of flying around, and they kind of offer up a hand, you know, in the way that you might like if like a cute bird is flying around and it kind of lands on their cheek, and then they just keep talking.
Oh, what if like maybe death has changed them? Like maybe they're very gentle now, and they never used to be. Like death has taken the fight right out of them.
Oh, that's real good. That's real good. So do you think that you two used to work together?
Oh, maybe. Yeah, like, did we meet on the job? Possibly, yeah. And then it's like, it's still Gem, like physically, and like to talk to them, it's still Gem, but like all that fire is just dead. They're like cold now.
So that tells me exactly where I want to start the scene. Like, I think the texts have come in, and they're like, so there is a lighthouse on the lake about a 5-mile trip out of the city. You can catch it from the boat hold, take the boat. There's a cache of weapons in the boat hold. You know, it was an old safe house of mine. But what am I going to do with a gun anymore, right? And they say as they take, like, the longest sip of a mimosa. And they're like, but what am I going to do with them? So, if you can get there, there's a boat with fuel in it. Get there, get on your way.
What do you mean, if I can get there? Are you...
You're
coming, right?
No one's looking for me. I am... Well, literally and metaphorically, I am a ghost.
But I was looking for you, Gem. That's why we're in this situation.
Well, yes, and you're far better than the average tough. You're a far better tracker and a far better finder and a far better accomplisher of jobs than the average tough guy in a black tie with a set of bronze knuckles and a dream.
A set of bronze knuckles and a dream. Sorry.
I was real proud of that line. I'm glad I got a reaction.
That's amazing. I think I just clipped my mic. Sorry.
Oh, you're fine.
I can't express to you how much I need you to come with me on this.
I do really like it here, and I'm supposed to have a gallery opening on Tuesday. But I suppose, on account of I have that gallery opening because I'm alive, I suppose I owe you one.
And like, I can feel like it's the nature of the work. Like, I'm an angry person.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's no lid on it. It's always simmering, and I can feel this anger rising as Gem just doesn't seem to care. Like, Gem's priorities are all wrong here.
Mm-hmm.
And I just kind of walk away before it bubbles over, because I know I'm not going to get anything back. Like, Gem's not going to argue with me. They're just going to keep being placid.
And so I think you there's only like 2 or 3 rooms in this little fancy city apartment. I think most of it is like one open space. So like the only place you can walk is to the bathroom. So we get the mirror shot of you splashing water on your face. And when you come out, Gem has laid out a Predator 2 trunk scene of guns on the bed. And like, you were in that bathroom for maybe a minute, and you come out and just the bed is just lined with weapons that they are slowly and like methodically putting in a duffel bag, and they look over at you like, what? I said I was coming. And they load up their duffel bag, and they grab the half-eaten croissant that they were brunching on, and they throw the duffel bag over your shoulder. So, well, the first thing we're gonna have to do is get out of here. There are 3 snipers in the building across the street. You don't see the dots because, frankly, these are the I don't need a dot type of snipers. You understand how it is. It's an art for them.
When were you planning on telling me this, Gem?
Oh, I just figured once the first bullet landed, you would dodge all the bullets.
And there's this. I give Gem a look, like the look, and like, there's nothing I can say, so I just give them the look. I think
they take your look and they're like, "Is it not clear that I admire you in this? Like, am I not? Was that not clearly a compliment? Because it felt like a compliment. Granted, I've been dead, so who is? Oh, maybe I've lost my touch."
Let's go. We're not achieving anything by talking.
And I think
let's go.
The second you say "let's go," that's when the first bullet comes in,
yes.
And like rips through a pillow, and I think like at that moment a door also kicks in, and a bellboy carrying one of those room service tables, of course, throws open the serving the little silver silver display thing to reveal a gun, and pulls that out, and
John Woo slow motion reveal. Yeah.
Like it was like when the bullets start coming in, the bellboy is gonna run in with room service and pull out the gun, and they're gonna catch you from both sides.
Yes. Love it.
So I think this puts us in the realm. This puts us in the realm of
ultraviolence, I think.
Ultraviolence.
Yeah.
So whenever your intended action is exciting, desperate, or perilous, you're going to roll dice. So tell me what your action is here.
So, right. There's this real slow motion shot as the first bullet comes in and the bellboy comes in. I'm going to kick up and like that silver serving tray, kick it up just in time to deflect the bullet right into the bellboy's throat.
Oh, damn. Oh, I love that. Okay, so I'm going to... You're going to start by rolling 2d6. I'm going to say that is directly related to your preferred weapon or signature item, so that's an additional d6.
Excellent.
I'm going to give you a fourth d6 for clever planning and positioning, just because that line was dope as hell. But I am going to take away a... I'm gonna give and take away a dice, say that you were caught off guard, but Gem wasn't, so those two things are going to balance each other out.
Cool.
So you're going to roll 4d6.
Oh no. I did not roll a single success or a single complication.
Okay.
So at least we get to fuck with the rules.
If you get no if you get no ones or sixes, if you make no complications and no successes, I get to fill in slices on these clocks equal to the number of dice that you rolled. So I'm just going to straight up fill in four clocks of execution.
Yeah.
Because I think what happens is you immediately take out that bellboy, but like, and I'm going to describe an injury here.
Cool.
And say, like, another bullet rips right into your shoulder, right? Like, you get, like, it's hard to focus on two separate things. So like, it tears into your shoulder, and because you focused on one thing and the snipers kept shooting. So, like, the bellboy is taken out, but like, these snipers are still raining in bullets, and now you are injured.
Yeah, totally. And I think, like, the snipers are still filling the room up with bullets, and I think behind the bellboy, there's, like, thugs in the corridor outside.
Mm-hmm. We get a long corridor shot of, like...
like in Leon, when they're lining up outside the
exactly
room at
that,
the very end.
We get the shot of, like, them waiting for you to try and run out so that they can ambush you on the outside. So what do you do?
Cool. So obviously, like, I've been hitting the shoulder and I immediately get low, like hit the deck. And I think I don't hit the deck. What I do, as the bellboy falls, I grab the bellboy and like dive out the room with the bellboy, like as a human shield. And like as the guards in the corridor like open up, firing at me, like it's like this cloud of blood from the bellboy, and I like try and roll away to the other side of the corridor and take some cover back there. So,
all right, yeah, so perfect. I love it. So let's walk through some advantages and disadvantages here. And running rule is if there's anything else you want to throw out as an advantage or a disadvantage, give it a shout and we'll add it to the roll.
Sure thing.
I'm thinking it's a disadvantage because you're outnumbered outside, but I think that's counteracted by the fact that you've got an improvised weapon in your human shield.
Cool.
I think there's another dice because I think like the only natural way this shot works is if Gem behind you also just spraying bullets.
Yes, like through
so that's
the
got to be an
wall.
extra d6.
Like Gem is like spraying bullets through the wall, like taking people out lined up. Is that not what you were thinking?
I was thinking the two of you are jumping out with the human shield together, but I'm going to go with yours because that's even better.
Sure.
Oh no, I see. I think yours is way better because I love the we get a shot of you jumping out and bullets are hitting the bellboy's body, and then we see bullets start tearing through the wall as we cut back to see Jem just unloading.
And I think like the snipers start taking shots at Jem, but Jem's already dead.
Yeah,
like,
right.
What are they going to do?
So I love that. Yeah, so that's actually going to I'm going to give you 2d6 for that one, which I think puts you to another 4d6.
I think it does, yeah.
All right, give me 4d6.
Let's go for it. That's 1 6. The rest were 3s and 5s.
Okay, well that's all you need. You can mark in a slice on one of your clocks.
Alright. I mean, I'm going to mark in hurt because I haven't gained any intel at this point.
I think that's the right call.
I think that's the right one.
I think we'll run with this fight scene until we mark out 4, and then you're able to take out whoever is left and get out of here.
Yeah, that sounds good.
And I think the two of you just run through these thugs outside, and I think the bullets stop, and Jem walks out, and you notice several bullet holes in them, and they walk out, and they're like, "What? I'm dead."
Yeah, these like bloodless bullet holes, just like maybe like Jem like squeezes a shell or like a bullet casing out of one of the holes, like you'd squeeze a spot.
I love it. That's so very good. And so they kind of like shake out a bullet, and they're like, "What? I'm dead." And you hear from the stairwell around the corner another set of footprints as another armed guard. Actually, let's go full on and make these I think you hear like the muffled like, "Police! Stop what you're doing! Stop where you are! And you hear like rough like people yelling as they run up the stairs as like the authorities have been alerted that someone here that like, you know, they have now set you up to take the fall here.
Yeah.
As cops are on their way in.
Awesome.
So what do you do?
What do I do?
I think there are 3 elevators nearby where the stairwell are. Like you might be able to get there and get a door open by the time the cops get out of the stairwell.
Yeah, I think there's this.
And then there's also other things. There are other rooms. There's also like the refreshments room with the ice machine and a vending machine.
Oh.
That's all kind of in the general area of where you're at right now.
Okay.
And also there's windows to the outside.
Yeah. So like Jem is like fiddling about with the bag, like trying to get guns out of the bag, but like the police are coming. There's no time for this. Like you don't carry loaded weapons with you. That's just stupid. And so I head to the refreshment room, and I put my shoulder into the glass of the vending machine and break through it and just start like grabbing cans of Monster, like big cans, and shaking them up to pressurize them. And like the first cops around the corner just get fucking clocked with them.
And I'm gonna just say automatically mark in I'm not even gonna ask you to roll for this. Before you roll, mark a tick of hurt, because I think the other thing that happens is you throw one, a cop gets an itchy trigger finger and shoots it, and because it's already like shaken, it just explodes and they get scrambled. So before anything, before your next action, automatically take a tick of hurt here.
I'll take that. I'm not going to argue with that.
So what's your next? What's the next step in the plan?
And then. Cool. So as the can explodes around him and he kind of instinctively recoils from this spray of pop, I'm gonna like boot the gun up into his chin and take it off him and just start firing.
All right. So that's 2d6. This is not your signature weapon.
No.
But you do get clever. I'm gonna give you some clever planning because these cops are kind of scrambled and you're sort of catching them off guard a little bit. And Jem, I think, has now pulled out a hilariously large rifle, and like once you start shooting, they start spraying, and so roll another 46.
Cool. Ooh, I got a 6 and a 1.
Okay. So mark in one of your clocks, and also I'm gonna mark in one of mine.
I think I'm just gonna
Here
mark
I'm gonna mark in
again.
apprehension, because I think you are now identified as a target to bring in. And I think that dispenses with the cops. I think you managed to make it to the lobby.
So I think the corporation knew that this was going to happen, right? And I think behind the cops is like a named person like me.
Yeah, I was just thinking of the name.
The Hammer.
Oh, the Hammer. Yep, it is. It is. The Hammer is, of course, short for the hammer crushing the final nail into the coffin of the unworthy.
Oh, fuck. That is a name.
So that is the name. That is, and the Hammer has, what is the Hammer's aesthetic? What's a good over the top Metal Gear Solid ass assassin aesthetic?
Ooh, for someone called the Hammer. Do we want to be obvious about it? Like, is this like a big fucking like trunk of a person, or is the Hammer quite small?
I think the Hammer's quite small.
Yeah. Or does the Hammer use like a massively oversized, like Final Fantasy sized hammer?
Yeah, oh, that's real good. Yeah, I think that they like the Hammer's taller than they are, and they kind of like, you get down there and they kick the bottom of it and start twirling it as if it weighed nothing.
Yes.
And it's this giant it's like a double hammer.
Yeah. And like
for the extra.
And the space that they're in is so small that they're twirling it, and it's like taking chunks out of the walls, and like the lights are getting popped out.
Yeah. And they're just twirling it as they just kind of walk towards you and don't say a word.
And I like, the stairs that I've come down have got like railings up them, like a banister with railings in it, and I like kick 2 of the metal railings out and start twirling them round like a pair of oh god, what's the word I'm looking for? Sticks that you fight with.
Oh, eskrima sticks.
Yeah. I start twirling these like bits of banister around with these, and we do the circle thing, like I'm crouched down low, and like the Hammer is just like circling on the spot, swinging this hammer around. Maybe they drop it to the ground and start like scraping it on the ground.
Yeah. So I think I'm going to give you 3d6 here, because
Cool.
I think that your improvised weapons are going to count out their big fuck you hammer. And I think but I think that you kind of facing them head on, I think is gonna give you the extra dice of like, you know what you're doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you know them, and so you know how to fight them. Like this is someone that you have studied before. So I think I'm gonna give you 3d6 here.
Cool. Let's go for it. Shit. Okay, we got 2 6s and a 2.
Hell yeah. Mark in your 4th thing of hunt to describe how you take them out, and then I'm gonna ask you to fill in either escape or intel.
Yeah. Okay, here's what I think happens. I'm twirling these sticks around, and the Hammer's like laughing, and then they swing the hammer at me, and I don't even necessarily dodge it. As the hammer comes round, I put my foot on it and I grab the heft of it, and I let them swing the hammer round with me. And the extra weight carries me behind them, and that's when I like leap down, and these sticks go like in the hammer's ears, and I just twist.
That's real good. That's real good. Yeah, so I think Describe like how you take them out.
Yeah, I mean, I basically twist their head straight off
And good.
Drop them to the ground.
I think that's exactly what happened. Yep, I think that's what happens. They go down. I think it's like we get like a little bit of the fight, but less of the fight than I think like audiences were expecting.
Like, it's one of those moments where it sets it up for this big fight, and then it's over in like a second. Yeah. And I feel like I need like a witty one-liner to drop as the body hits the ground, but I cannot fucking think of one.
I think Jem says that directly to you. Like, so do you have a one-liner or like a cool line or no?
And I just,
all right then.
No. And then I just kind of light a cigarette and walk out the door.
And I think that the intel that you find is like, they have, you notice on their back pocket, they have like an envelope, and it's got like a map of the hotel, but it also has like a map of the, Mark 1 Escape as well, because it also has a map of the park on it, and you don't necessarily know it doesn't say where the boat hold is, but it at least gives you like the layout of the park. But the thing of note, the tick of your intel clock is like, there is another spot marked on this map to the point where it feels like maybe getting you wasn't why all of these forces were here. Like, you were kind of an incidental.
Yeah, I was in the way. Like, they need to get somewhere else. Maybe there's also clipped in this envelope a little card with, like, the name of the gallery that Jem's exhibition was meant to be at.
Mm-hmm.
And a name scrawled on it.
Yeah.
Maybe there were...
Say that last line again. I got distracted.
That's okay. Maybe in the envelope with the map, there is a business card from the gallery that Jem's exhibit was at.
Yep.
And it's got a name scrawled on it. Someone from Jem's past.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, it is actually, you recognize the name as actually like the person that trained the both of you.
Ooh.
Which is where you met, was like learning the sort of assassin's trade from this sort of mentor figure.
Nice. They're called Atticus. I'm going with To Kill a Mockingbird names.
Yeah, Atticus. Atticus was, maybe will forever be. Who knows? Like, Atticus, every record you've ever read of the corpse of the company's Black Ops department kind of all point to Atticus as like the training coordinator, right? Like,
yeah.
There are reports 200 years ago of training with Atticus and like pencil sketch drawings that look an awful lot like the Atticus that you trained under.
Oh shit. Everyone thinks it's a code name, but then you find those pictures and you're like, no, wait. This is the same person.
Yeah.
Fuck. Yes.
He's just that good at killing.
The more he kills, the more he stays alive. Does that even make sense?
His full name, as you learned from looking into records, is Atticus, he who killed death.
Oh, fuck. Wow, yes, love it.
And so it has like the address of the gallery, and it's got Atticus's name like scribbled on it.
Yes.
So I think you've got a choice to make. Do you go after the boat hold, or do you go confront Atticus?
I mean, I think we have to go find Atticus, don't we?
I think we have to.
Like, yeah, we could get out of the city, but we've been looking for Atticus for years. This is a mystery everyone wants to solve.
And so we cut to the gallery, right? Like, we cut to the gallery. Let's make one action of getting to the gallery, because I think, like, there's still like a valet pulls up with Jem's car, just in time to see like two plain white vans pull out from one side of the street and a police cruiser pull out from come from the east, and two unmarked vans come from the west, and you're in that little like hotel roundabout section.
Yes, and I've just lit a cigarette as well, and like as they all start like piling out and we're getting ready for round 2, I just like take one more drag on the cig and throw it, flick it, and it lands in the open mouth of the hammer. And I like crack my neck and like crack my knuckles and pick up one of those sticks again, and like we step out the door to face whatever's coming next.
I think you've got the. So I think what I'd like to propose, I think what happens is like Jem walks out and grabs a key from the valet and is like, "Well, I'm just gonna drive. If you wanna do whatever you want to do."
And I look over and I look at the mountain, like the odds getting stacked more and more and more against me. And there's this moment where you're like, "What's he gonna do? Which way is this gonna go?" And then Jem pulls the car around and I give this like resolved sigh and get in the car begrudgingly.
So this is a car chase. This is a dangerous action.
Excellent.
To get to, and this is, I think, to get to Atticus safely without having any further fights.
Cool.
So I'm going to ask you, if you are not driving, how are you helping? Like, how are you helping to evade or destroy or get out from these two vans and a police cruiser?
So right, Jem's super placid. Like, yeah, we're driving fast, but Jem's like not taking any risks really.
This is the scene on the soundtrack where Vanessa Carlton is playing.
Yes. And
there's definitely a moment where you're like, can we change the music? And they're like, I like this song.
Yes. And what I think happens is we get to a red light and Jem stops. And I give Jem this look like, are you fucking serious right now? And we see the lights
People
flashing.
need to cross the street.
And like, I turn and look back and like these vans are getting closer to us, and there's like, they've got a fucking turret mounted machine gun on top of one of these vans, and I reach over with my foot and jam Jem's foot down on the gas pedal and like I grab the wheel and I'm like driving the car from the passenger seat.
That's very good. I'm going to... I just said that people need to cross, so I'm going to give you an extra die related to there being like people around that I think you know, even as an evil mega corporation that is using magic to control life and death, they don't necessarily want civilian casualties. That's going to be bad PR.
Yes.
So I think like they can't fire on you, so I'm going to give you a third dice, and I think once you do that, Jem kind of like, they smile kind of for the first time that we've seen them smile in the entire story. And they're like, oh, we haven't played footsie in so long. And that's kind of what gets them to like actually drive the car to take you to 4 dice.
Nice. Amazing. Okay. Oh, we got a 6 and a 1.
All right. I think that like what happens is, I'm going to mark execution. I'm going to mark one more for apprehension. Because I think what happens here is the vans one of the vans almost hits some people, veers out and crashes into the other van.
Nice.
Knocking the 2 vans out, but the police cruiser just hits the siren and people like scatter and they tear through the street. So you are able to like pull through and get away from like 2 of the you're able to get away from the vans, but the cops like arrive upon you when you get to the gallery. Like the cops are like behind you and like spilling out in riot gear with guns.
Amazing. So we made a quiet entrance.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Super subtle, like low key, like any other gallery opening.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I think, like, you see sitting in what can only be described as a director's chair, like, sipping a cup of coffee in, like, the big floor-to-ceiling windows on this gallery. Atticus is in the middle of the room, like, not even, like, watching you directly, just people watching. Just people watching out the window. He's just sipping. Wearing an all-white suit. Like, alligator skin shoes.
Nice. And we skid up outside the gallery, and like I just hop out the car, and we hand the keys to the valet, and as the police are pulling up and like the sirens and the loudspeakers and everything, we just walk into the gallery.
And I think take a point of intel.
Ooh.
Because I think what happens is, like, the cops stand up. And, like, the cops, like, you start to walk and the cops are screaming and, like, they pull up their guns to open fire and then they all just fall over dead.
Oh, shit. Okay.
And with that, like, when you walk in, you just see Atticus pick back up the coffee cup that you didn't even fully realize had been set down on the little end table beside him.
Ooh. Atticus isn't fucking around.
So, not who I expected to see today, but, you know, a teacher loves seeing when a student has really applied the lessons and bettered themselves.
What can I say, Atticus? I learned from the best.
It would be humble of me to deny that, but humility is for cowards.
Oh, you thought I meant you?
Long sip of tea, sets down the coffee, like the coffee mug. I don't know. I did not teach you that wit, I'll tell you that much. Well done. Picks back up the coffee cup. Or the tea mug.
Look out the window, Atticus. You need to call off the dogs.
Oh, were that I could. I think as Atticus is, like, kind of starts to muse of, like, unfortunately those dogs were issued by a higher power, and what are you or I but exactly the same kind of attack dogs and bloodhounds as those vans full of over-enthusiastic amateurs chasing after their big shot and glorified enforcers of a corrupt state. I mean, technically it's 6 of one and half dozen of the other, but I'm going to call this a dangerous action.
Ooh, okay.
And I'm going to ask you to fill out your advantages and disadvantages here, because I think the goal here is to fill out intel, because Atticus knows what is going on here. And is musing not so much to. I think it is clear that before you, like, fill out your advantages and disadvantages, I will say you know Atticus well enough to know that he is not, like, rambling to bide time while other assassins show up.
Yeah, he's not monologuing.
He's just like this, and, like, does not like is clearly so unafraid of everything that, like, a ticking clock is not a thing that he thinks exists.
Cool. God, what are my advantages and disadvantages in this situation? I think there's an element of surprise, because I don't think Atticus either A, expected us to come for him, or B, expected us to get here.
I'll buy that. That might be it.
Yeah, that might be it. I almost want to give a disadvantage and say, like, as this happens, Jem betrays me. Almost. I don't know. How do you feel about that?
So, I've presented this opportunity to roll the D6 twist table at the end of the book.
Oh, okay.
I'm actually going to give you an advantage here because I rolled an enemy extends an olive branch.
Oh.
And say that, like, I think Jem raises their rifle to you. Jem goes to betray you. Jem is clearly not loyal to you, but to Atticus.
Uh-huh.
And, like, Atticus, you see Atticus, like, gesture with just, like, a single finger, like, raise up a pinky, like, hold. Clearly,
Ooh.
Atticus knows what is going on and wants you to find it.
Interesting.
So mark an extra point of intel.
Nice.
Like,
And then-
Atticus clearly knows what is going on and clearly, like, has feelings about it.
Yeah, and like I didn't even know that Jem had raised the gun. Like Atticus raises the hand.
This is sort
and
of your
then-
confrontation of that
yeah,
fact.
and then I see Jem put the gun down in the reflection in the window, and I realize that like I would have been dead.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Let's roll some dice. I rolled 3 4s and a 2. I rolled no complications, no successes.
I am marking 4 points closer to execution,
Ooh.
which is halfway on the execution clock. Because I think you've lost Jem.
Yeah.
Like, I think Jem is no longer coming with you on this because Jem is loyal to Atticus. And, like, this is the moment that you've realized that, which means you're much closer to death because you no longer have Jem at your back.
And I think I also realized that, like, yeah, I thought that I was making the decision to bring Jack back to life, but I've been played at some point and not realized it. Like, I think Atticus arranged it all so that I would steal the tech that I stole, and that there's bigger things going on that I'm not privy to.
I love it. And I think what happens here is the intel that you get, Atticus tells you, like, I cannot call off those dogs because I'm here on a job. I am here to, well, take the same job that I took with you and with Jem, and hopefully to, and he smiles and take one more point of intel.
Ooh.
Or actually take a point of escape here. Because I
Okay.
think he smiles and says, like, hopefully I do as good a job training this new ward that they're giving me as I did with you and with Jem. And I hopefully I train someone with a conscience for a change. Hopefully, because the truth is that is the thing that's going to set you apart from... And at that moment you hear a helicopter overhead of whoever's on top of my gallery right now. I was supposed to pick up I was supposed to receive in a handoff a new ward that is being picked up at a spot in the park. I have certain ethical obligations to training this ward to be an agent of the corporation. It would be a great service to your former teacher if you could take this ward and disappear for a while. In
And when you
exchange, I can
say-
promise you that Jem and I will be safe.
When you say it would be a great service, what you're saying is, do this or I kill you here and now.
Oh, no. I meant I was asking for a favor. Oh no. No, if I wanted you to be dead, you'd be dead, and if I wanted you to think that I was going to kill you, you would have no more, you would be missing 2 fingers.
I think we have this like moment where we see me realizing that I really don't understand anything that's happening. Like, I've completely misjudged this situation.
And I think that that's kind of, I think that, like, there's this moment, like, it's almost a familiar look and feeling to you, because, like, this is kind of just Atticus.
Yeah, like, everything happens so fast that, like, my head is just spinning.
He's asking you to do a rescue operation on whoever this target that they're abducting is. Are you in?
I'm in.
All right.
I'm in. Let's do it.
They're in. Atticus is like, I knew they were in. I'm 3 steps ahead of everyone at all times, but I nonetheless appreciate it. And I think, like, glass breaks from a sunroof.
Yes.
Assassins start to rail down, and you are alone in the room.
Atticus's gem have just gone. Just like, where the fuck did they disappear to? But Atticus has left the cup of coffee,
Mm-hmm.
and everything is a weapon.
Yeah, everything's a weapon. So,
Excuse me. Oh, excuse me.
are you good?
Yeah. And I think how many guys are coming down through this sunroof? I think it's like 3 or 4, right?
It's like three snake eyes looking G.I. Joe ass commandos.
So here's what I think happens. I think I break the coffee cup on the table, and it's expensive. It's like bone china, so when it breaks, it's super sharp. And they come down on cords from the helicopter, and I think the first guy down gets a shard of china through the eye, and then I grab the cord that he came down on and wrap it round like the heads of the other 3 and tie them together so that I can get away.
I love it. I'm gonna say take a point of escape immediately, and then roll 46.
Nice. We have half filled the escape clock and the intel clock. Oh no, that's a whiff. That's nothing.
All right, I think with that, I think you managed to escape, and I think we cut to our climax. I think you're able to get away, but I think they know that you know everything, and they know that you're going to mess up this handoff. Because execution is 3/4 of the way marked up.
Oh.
Because I think that sets us perfectly for the climax.
Nice.
You escape, you get to the park, but they know that you're gonna be there. You hear police copters in the distance coming to get you because your position has been tipped off.
Mm-hmm.
You come upon what looks like the tech magic weird corporation view of almost like a summoning circle.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like half like First Contact looking like drop zone and half like arcane summoning circle. A portal starts to open in front of you, and a child, like an adult but a child, right? Like maybe someone that looks like they just turned 18.
Yeah.
Steps out wearing the most techno cyberpunky shroud gear that you've ever seen. Steps through this portal, steps through this portal with like a pack on their back, and looks around and looks like green skin. They're an alien. There's a tech future alien has just passed through a portal. Looks around as if they are scared and frightened and like they've left home for the first time in their lives. And you see that like the corporation, the company is clearly going to pick up this person and turn them into and fashion them into a tool for the company.
Incredible.
Now is your moment to save the day and get away. This is our final big scene.
Yeah. And we're near the sculpture garden, right?
Yeah, I think we're in the sculpture garden in the park. Like you're probably watching from like on top of one of these big arms.
Yeah, and like I think we see like top down, like from my point of view, like the portal opens, they step through, and like the corporation like handlers are incoming, but the security is super heavy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we see me like assess the situation and realize that if I go in like in person, there's nothing I can do to get us both out safely.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we see me have this moment of like almost like resignation where I'm like, I'm about to have to do something that I never wanted to do. And we have this flashback to when we were being trained and we were being taught magic and the price of magic. And I think you see me in the present roll up my sleeve of my suit, and my arm that we haven't seen before is laced with all these tattooed sigils and marks and things. And I take a piece of the broken china from the cup and I cut one of these tattooed sigils open. and we see like power rise up, and one of the sculptures comes to life.
Fill in the rest of Escape. Because now there's a giant statue running amok. Like, if you can rescue this child, like, you're pretty fine. You're out of here.
And I think this sculpture thing just like goes ham on the security forces, and like the effort has weakened me, obviously, but I like use the distraction to step in and like grab the kid.
All right. Give me a 4d6 roll. You've got an ambush on them, but that's going to cancel out the fact that you're also outnumbered. I think this kid immediately shoots some eye lasers and like fries someone, like, and is clearly as interested in escaping this scenario as you are. And +1 for the chaos of it. We'll say 5d6 because I think you can probably also find some cool improvised weaponry.
Nice. Let's go. Oh no, that's 2 1s.
Okay.
It's not a good day for me.
The cops are on the scene. It is now a full-on, because there's a giant statue running around causing chaos. But like, I think that at least the two of you, the child seems to recognize that you are, the young adult, the alien seems to recognize that you are at least like trying to free them. And I think you are cornered by Director Vault.
That's a good name.
Towering, tall, wiry but tall, like seems like is the tallest person in the room, even despite these giant statues, but like is probably no taller than like 6'4", but like just has that towering aura. Steps up, and like this is like a high level representative of the company, a higher level person than you've ever directly met in the company before.
Like Director Vault is almost a myth.
Yeah. Steps up. This alien is going to be the centerpiece to some very grand plans. We need you to step away.
My orders are to take them into custody.
And I'm telling you, your orders to the company are to step away. And by that I mean, step away, and we welcome you back into the fold.
I think we're going to have a problem.
And I think they crack their knuckles and their arm, like Slender Man-esque arms come out from behind their back as they crack their knuckles, and they're like, I think we might.
And we're cornered. Like there is nowhere for us to go. What's the scene look like? What's the location we're in looking like?
You're in like a clearing in the woods. There are some benches and some picnic tables. There's a lot of tech equipment, a lot of like tower lights and like summoning equipment. A lot of techie equipment is around. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of objects around, equipment, radars, scanners, all kinds of that kind of stuff. There are weapons scattered about from various dead bodies. There are various dead bodies. There is this cowering alien with a big kind of like travel backpack sort of cowering behind you, fists awkwardly raised. What do you do?
So I think we square off, and I think Director Vault makes the first move, right? Mm-hmm. And I think initially, like, he's beating the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so weak and tired from animating that statue, which has now fallen silent. Like,
yeah.
And he's like throwing me around, and I think he picks me up and throws me into some of that machinery. Mm-hmm. And as I'm picking up, I like tear through some wiring. And these big, thick cables that are lying on the ground that start sparking with electricity. And I think I pick up a length of this cable that's still plugged into the machinery and start like slowly like whipping it around like I'm going to use that as a weapon, and I like straighten up and crack all my spine and like go at him with this sparking cable whip thing that I've fashioned.
So I think this is going to be 3d6 because you've got 2 injuries here. You're wounded from the summoning. No, I think this is 4d6. I think you're wounded from the summoning, and you've got that injury to your shoulder. So that's 2 disadvantages. You've also got an assist from the alien, who I think hovers up above the ground and like flies in and locks Vault in kind of a chokehold as you start whipping. I'm gonna go with so an extra dice for that, an extra dice for your improvised weapon, and an extra improvised dice because of the chaos unfolding around you. I had one more. I'm trying to remember what it is. Any other advantages, disadvantages you want to throw out? I have one more that I want to throw out I think there's one last one, is that like that portal is still like live but closing, and like you're in a position where you could at least force Vault back through that portal. Nice.
Yeah, I'm into that. So
I'm gonna say that's 46.
Nice. Let's go for it. No whammies.
No whammies.
That is 2 6s.
Hell yeah.
Heck
so
yeah.
I think what happens is, I think between the 2 of you, like, I think you're whipping and like, but he's distracted and he's taking a whip, and you get one good slash and kind of cut his gut open, and he tilts back, which gives the alien time to like pick him up in a slam and throw him through the portal.
Oh, as it like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think mark off that last point of intel as well, as this alien like walks up to you and it's like, he won't be coming back from that. The dimension on the other side of that portal was fading. He fell into an empty void.
You could say he fell into an empty vault.
That's funny. I think I will like it here. And like in this chaos, like cops are landing and like they're rounding up other organization members, because it seems like you have managed to spark like some like police versus corporation like faction war, as they're just rounding up every high value target that they can, and in the chaos while also dealing with the statue, and like you've got a moment to slip away, and like you sail, like you get to the boat hold, and I think Jem and Atticus are standing there.
And like, you could have helped. At any point you were free to step in.
Yes, but we are still company people. And it would be easy to give you some monologue about fixing the corporation from the inside, or reshaping targets in the future to maybe stand against the corporation's worst practices, but the truth is there are reasons far simpler, and Jem cuts him off. The pay is great, and we don't want to we'll give up the paycheck. Well, I was going to say it with a little more poetry, but your former flame has a point. Seriously, you should count the number of zeros. It's astounding.
It's sickening. It's sickening how much money. I think we get in the boat, and I think there's just a shot of us there's like a drone shot that pulls up away from the river and the park as we like boat off into the darkness, away from where there's the southern end of the park, where there's still like lights flashing and like the pop of gunfire and like explosions happening.
And I think the last thing you see is you look back and they're gone. Of course they're gone.
Of course
that's just how they exit. And the 2 of you sail off with a lighthouse in the distance. Like you sail towards the lighthouse, and that's game.
Nice.
Gosh, shreds. Game shreds.
That's so good.
That was fantastic.
So much fun.
That was so much fun.
Adam, you beautiful game designer.
Beautiful game, Adam. And just to make clear the point I made earlier, yes, I did write a scenario about a corporation trying to copyright Superman. Yeah, I did that. Sometimes I'm allowed to be on my bullshit. That was so much fun. Chris, that was the best. I'm so tickled.
That went to... I love how little I was expecting anything that happened in that game.
I honestly, like, I had done literally no prep other than reading the rules, and that we told a story that satisfying is astoundingly good, and is a sign of a great game.
The only prep I did was to come up with a name in advance because I'm terrible at names, and we never even gave my character a name.
What was the name?
I've forgotten.
All right, well then we don't worry about it.
Yeah. It was Clay Collins, the ghost.
It's a good name. So that's it. That's a wrap. Thank you so much for doing the show with me. This was so much fun, Chris.
Thank you so much for having me. That was a blast.
So real quick before we wrap up, where can people find you and your work online?
Yeah, you can find me on twitter.com at Pangalactic, Pangalactic. And you can find me on the internet, loottheroom.uk and loottheroom.itch.io is where you can pick up my games in PDF and in print.
Hell yeah. Well, thank you so much for doing the show. This was an absolute delight. I'm smiling ear to ear, and now I'm going to throw it over to me in the future so that he can wrap up with the show. Take it, future me. Thanks, past me. And thanks again to Chris for coming on the show. That game was so exciting and so much fun, and I just had such an absolute blast listening to that episode again as I edited it. I couldn't be more happy with it. Thank you so much for coming on the show and playing it with me. Be sure to check out D36, currently on Kickstarter. Be sure to check out loottheroom.uk for all of Chris's work projects. And be sure to follow Chris on Twitter at Pangalactic. Then while you're on Twitter, follow us at Party of One Pod. Like the show on Facebook at facebook.com/partyofonepodcast. Join our Discord community at bit.ly/partyofoneDiscord. Discord. Head to our merch store at bit.ly/partyofonemerch. Support the show financially at patreon.com/JeffStormer or ko-fi.com/JeffStormer. And if you're looking for another podcast to enjoy, check out All My Fantasy Children, a character creation, storytelling, and world-building podcast on the One Shot Podcast Network, in which every week, my best friend Aaron Catano Saez and I, we take a listener-submitted prompt, we spin it into an original fantasy character, and we populate a shared universe one story at a time. New episodes drop every Friday-ish at oneshotpodcast.com. Party of One is produced and edited, as always, by Jeff Stormer and Jen Frank. All music for the show comes from the song Infinite Lives by Megaran featuring the D&D Sluggers, and the Party of One logo is by Evan Rowland. If you'd like to inquire about advertising rates, coming on the show as a guest, or about press coverage of the show, you can email me at partyofonepodcast@gmail.com. And, well, honestly, I think that's all we do here, so until next time, thank you so much for listening. Remember to fight the forces of fascism every single day. Remember that self-love and self-care are radical and defiant acts of resistance, and as always, party on, everybody.